Welcome back to another Model Bird episode, and we are back in the Tricks and Tips series. If you are new to the series, this is where I give my tips on how I have improved my building. In this case, it will be trees for this episode. In the past, we have done houses, textures, gradients, and a lot of basics that improve your builds. Now, on with the trees. There are three main tips in this that will improve your trees, and if I fly over here, oh yes, I deleted them. But as you can see, I have not made that many, starting with this side as my earlier ones, but it's very easy to get the handle of it once you have figured out how it works. Now, I also do have Axiom, which I did test with some, but doing it by hand I find is still a lot easier if you're working on the smaller scale, which this is bigger but still small. Now, today I'll be covering oak, cherry and spruce. Now, as you can tell, one thing you need to do with your trees is make them taller. Minecraft trees are not tall enough. If I'm gonna spawn one in now, and hopefully I get the small one. Yep. No, when you put that against your base, it's pretty much, the base will be bigger than this. And the fact that it's got no headspace. Whereas this, you want it to at least be 7 or 8 blocks tall before you start any of the branches, depending on what type of oak you do. If you're doing a younger oak, it will be smaller, but I would say try to make your big oaks bigger than this. But the first tip, which I don't know how many of you know from the real world, but the roots and the branches don't go out at different sizes. However far out this root will go, even if it went out this far, that is how far out the branches will go. Now, you may not have to see all the root like this. Most of my builds, the root will just go down there. I just cut it off here. But you don't really want to have the branches going out all the way over there with the leaves, and then the root being over there, because the tree doesn't look right, and it also makes it look very flat. Whereas if you have it more in, you can make it look more round. Now, this still does look flat, and I have one tip for that. Whenever I build mine, they do still come out like this, a bit flat, and that is usually because wherever you start doing one branch from, you do them all from. Now, you can always do what I've done over here, whereas then you'll go down and do two or more branches down below, just so it makes it look like it is more of a round shape instead of more of this flat and overhang feel, depending on the tree. And obviously you do want all of the bark and the trunk branches all to be similar colours. You don't want that in part of your tree. You want it to be similar, depending on if you're doing a realistic tree. Now, so that's a bit of a shape for some, I would say, oaks, birches, cherries, dark oak. That goes for most of it. Savannas, I will do in a later episode, as they are a bit different. But spruce trees are a bit different. They are taller. They'll probably be about twice as tall as whatever other tree you have. Obviously, this does depend on how big you want the tree. You can make it smaller like this one, like it's just growing, and different stages of trees does help out for variation. Because if you are using like Matica, or you are just building them, yes, you can have the same tree just copied and pasted in all four orientations, but at some point they do start to look the same. But if you make, say, 3 or even 5, 7, as many as you want, you start to be able to do a lot more with your forest, or even just the random tree. But if I place this tree, and that's probably not one of the best ones I could have got, but as you can see, my spruce tree is about twice the size of the regular spruce tree, which this isn't probably the tallest it goes, but as you can see here, the branches don't really go out further than the roots would go underground, and because of this type of tree, and I'll be probably show a picture of some spruce trees where the further you go, because this is newer bark and the newer part of the trunk, it may look lighter. So the further down on a spruce tree, I would say the darker is the better, even with the branches. You don't want like a sharp change, a gradient like this, so just adding it in and then making it go from the spruce and the strip dark oak, adding in the strip spruce just to change it in. But the second tip that will improve your trees, even if you don't want to make trees like these and you just want to use the basic Minecraft trees, is adding different leaves to them. And this doesn't have to just be for shading. As you can see here, it is for shading. It's like you've got the darker parts and the lighter parts, and you even have, to make it even lighter, you do have the azalea, which, as you can see, quite light, but it can also just to add some variation in the leaves. I'll just set it today so you can see it's better. But as you can see, it just adds a bit more interest in the leaves compared to this. And with trees like the cherry, where there isn't really any other types of pink leaves, you can still use all the other types of pink blocks, and with this you can also use mosses, even grass, and all these green lighter blocks. Now, when it comes to Minecraft trees already made, so these types of trees, they have quite thick leaves, as you can see. I just broke. There is no gaps, absolutely no gaps. Now, this means, one, you can't see the trunk, which really isn't something you have on a Minecraft tree. Normally you see it's RAL tree. I am dyslexic, so this is quite difficult. But you normally just can't see the top with the branches like this, but the trunk is quite clear. So the main thing you want to have, and if you are making custom trees, is you want to have it be like fluffy. You want gaps in the leaves so you can see through, and it doesn't look like blocks, funnily enough. So it doesn't look that. So that there isn't so many leaves that it becomes dark. You want it to be light. You want the light to come through so the light level isn't so dark, and you can still see in whilst having trees covering it. So it isn't like, you don't want to do this type, which I have seen more and more in the few months of seeing people on Fezzycraft or other YouTube videos with trees. And if you are picking up something from the background, that is my dog. But as you can see, I've seen a few like this, even if they have the fences. But you don't want to just have the leaves cover the entire branch. Real trees don't do this. And one, it doesn't look too great, as that isn't the shape you would have in a real tree. My advice is to have it sort of cover it like a blanket on top. Now you do want some bits of it to come through, but treat each branch like a blanket. And I would also advise, do not use full blocks like this. Use trapdoors, fences, slabs, stairs, things that just separate and give gaps in between leaves, even when there is no gaps. So you want it like this, cover the top, maybe overhang a bit, and this can take a while, but my advice is to keep trying placements for leaves until it looks right. But I don't like that one there. I do like that one there. And it just to make it look more natural. And it may still look a bit odd, depending on if you are using all the same types of leaves. So if you don't think that it's working or it doesn't look right with the same type of leaves, just add in the different types. They don't even have to be for shading, they just can be for variation. Obviously it looks a bit better than this one over here, just covering the tree like a bush more than a branch, which has the leaves coming off of it, not just all around. Which is why sometimes on the bottom I don't put many leaves, just so it makes the imitation of, well, the leaves are coming off the branches off the top. And one last thing, I want to go back to the spruce tree. It is close to a triangle, at least at the top few layers, but then at the bottom it does stick mostly to the same. And if it is a tall spruce, you do want to leave some space there. Now, that is everything covering how to make a tree if you just want to make one now. If you wish to stay and keep watching, I will go through how I design an oak tree. It will be a small oak tree, but it'll still be an oak tree. And I'll probably be giving one more tip that you don't really need unless you are creating maps with your trees. So for everybody that will be going at this point, goodbye, and for all that are staying, it's time to make an oak tree better than this and more similar to a small one like this, which I will steal the blocks for. Now, for everyone that has stayed, I will give the tip of glass blocks do disappear and can help with situations like this with a wall. So if you want it to stick out more there, if you want it like this, you want it to blend a bit more, then it does do that quite well. Now, over to making the tree. If you wish to, you can use the log. I use the wood quite a lot, as I just kind of gave up, even with schematics. But as you can see, when I'm making it, and we have the beautiful shelves for this now, which just add a bit more variation, so much easier. Might add something over there, just like one branch, and you don't have to get it right first time. It does. Trees are one of the most difficult natural things for Minecraft, as they are blocks. They are not it's not really something easily made to be curved. Now, I don't like to have my oak trees go straight up. They look a bit odd. So I might get some walls and I will change it by giving it a curve, and if it doesn't look natural, you could add some glass to blend it a bit better, but still making the trunk look skinny, because you can still see the sky through it, so it doesn't look bad. But then at this point, since it's only a small tree, I won't go crazy with the branches. I'm just going to turn my little tool here to make this job a lot easier. As you can see, here it goes about 4 blocks out, and here it goes about 5 blocks out because of it leaning. But then you can even go further down, and I would also say having variation in the branch height is also a good thing. And like I said before, using slabs, stairs and fences and other stuff is good, because it makes it look better than just one type. I'm using one type to make it simple. But I keep saying second, but another thing I would like to mention is, when you see me place these fences, obviously they do not connect. They don't really connect well, and they kind of just blend in together when you are looking at the ground level like this. So it is a very good way to hide what you're trying to do, and your branches being placed oddly. Like, you do not have to have them like that, always connecting. If it's on a branch part here, it can go there. And I won't be making this for too much longer, otherwise this probably will be one of the longer tricks and tip videos for my channel. But hopefully we will get some views out of this, and I am currently at 78 subscribers, and we are 22, and if I'm wrong I'll correct it later, but we are 22 subs away from 100, and if you could subscribe to my channel, that would really make my day, because I've been trying to get to 100 for almost a year now, and I do believe I can help you out with your building skills a lot, as I have on the FezzyCraft server and other servers, my friends. But anyway, as you can see, we've got the tree here. I would say this is probably a willow tree. If you wanted to make it more like an oak, then you may want to go back round a second time. Doing it multiple times isn't a bad thing, but maybe adding a branch that just goes up. And then you can have a few smaller branches just to go off, or even where there is no branches next to it, just adding a bush around. But the next step would be, if you just wanted to get the leaves right, then changing them, or if you're just placing them like that, just placing them and having them all the different types of leaves you want at the same time, then that works too. But I'm going to do this just a bit quicker, and I find birch blends well with quite a few, but then adding just a bit of variation in. Now, if I were to pull a map out and find it first, I still never got used to this. I was going to do this. If you pull a map out, if you were to look on it, if I go back, you'll see that there's some brown spots. Now, if you didn't want this on your forest and you wanted it like the cherry tree over there on the map, where there's no brown, then you can either get moss for the greens or any colour of carpet. Then you just look down and you cover it up. And that, I think that may have got most of it. You see there, the branches, they are the roots down below. But as you can see, there's less of the brown now and more of the other stuff. Now that is going to be all for this episode. You could add candles, glow vines, candles, banners, all of that. You could add so much to the trees. You could add glass. You can make it so detailed. But for some easy basic trees that don't take a while to collect the resources for or even place, that is what I would say to do. And I will see you in the next episode, and I will possibly do some more different types of trees in the next one. Maybe like acacia, maybe like pale oak, or even some nether ones, if we want to do a redesign for them. Anyway, I will see you the next time. Goodbye.